Hello, hello. I hope everyone's having a good evening. Just felt a bit inspired to share a message. It's a beautiful, cool night here, and perhaps the cooling down is allowing me to see things in a more clear way. And the message that I wanted to share this evening is that what we do matters. All the little things that we do, they matter. And all the little things that we think are not important, those are the things that add up to become bigger things. And it's realizing the importance of the small things that we do in our everyday life, the choices that we make, the food that we choose to put in our bodies, the music or the content that we choose to listen to, the people that we choose to surround ourselves by, the shows that we choose to watch. Everything is food. What are we consuming? Are you consuming violence? Are you consuming love? Are you consuming laughter? Are you consuming fear? And realizing that some of these fears can, some of these emotions, I apologize, can almost become like addictive. So you can almost become addicted to feeling a certain way. And it's interesting that addictions don't always work the way that we think that they do. But there's a lot of things that we can become addicted by. When I say addicted, I mean more that we form a habit we depend on, we use it as something to run away from the moment. It's something to take us away from the now, from this one moment where everything is that we need. All the answers, all the love, all that we are seeking exists here, and there's so much that wants to pull us away. And it's not that it's a separate entity that wants to pull us away, but it's so much that we allow ourselves to be pulled towards. Maybe a better way to put it, a lot of ways in which we choose to run away from what we feel deep down inside. Maybe because we're feeling discomfort, maybe because we don't know how to deal with the emotions that we're feeling, and it's not anyone's fault, really. I mean, it's not like you go to school learning, they're like, this is how you deal with anger, this is how you deal with this emotion, and we can't expect the parents to know the answers too, because most parents most people don't know how to deal with their own emotions. I can't even sit here and say that I can. I still struggle with a lot of my emotions at times. Not like I used to. It's definitely gotten a lot better. But a lot of these emotions that we get used to feeling, we're almost use it as a drug to run away from another feeling. Maybe it's preferable to feel, fear than to feel, anger, or I mean, think of anything, any emotion that maybe you want to swap one for the other. And so just becoming mindful of what we consume, of what we eat. And what we eat isn't just what we take in with our stomach, with our mouth, It's also what we listen to, what we watch, what we surround ourselves by, what we choose to talk about, what we choose to put out into the world. And it's all those little choices that we make that make a difference. And they make a difference, not just for yourself, but also for the whole. In the long run, you're making a proclamation of what it is that you want, what it is that you're choosing. And it's a good time to do that. It's a very powerful time, especially for those that are awakening into their power, into their knowing, into their remembrance. It's very important that you realize the effect that you have on your environment, in your creations, and what you surround yourself with, and what you choose. And you start noticing, and you start playing with it. It's not that there's anything like wrong with it. You just start playing with it. For some of us, this is what needs to happen. And I recently had a time that I found myself watching a lot of television, and I call television, I mean, it's like watching like videos on YouTube and just like getting lost, and then you realize like 2 hours later that you've just lost 2 hours of your life. And I there's a lot that you can learn online, and I'm not saying that it's bad, but it's when you're running away, when you're using it to run away from something, or when you're using it just to pass the time. um, and it's again, it's not that it's something that's bad, because it's like each experience has its own merit and its own reason for being at that time. But for me at least, it's just been realizing the effect that it has on me, how I feel. How do I feel like going a long period without, maybe I had the thing where I wouldn't have anything on while I was eating, uh, and then I kind of broke that, and started having background noise, and just realizing that maybe that's not the best way to eat, and seeing the effects that it has on how I'm paying attention to what I'm eating, or how I feel. After I watch something, for example, fearful, something that puts me in fear. How do I feel after how do I feel in the nighttime when I go to sleep? How do I feel? How does it affect my nervous system? How does it affect my sense of safety? What is it, what is it building? What am I building with that? And not that it's not that it's any of it is bad, and that it can't be done, but it's not something to build yourself up with. And for those of us who are going through this awakening process that we've been going through, we realize that uh, it doesn't really serve us in the long run. And I think that we naturally kind of start to steer away from a lot of the things that we used to do because of that. And a lot of the times, we can go back and forth, and play a little bit, and go back in. Like like I said, I had a recent time that I kind of went into this period, and then it served its purpose. I was able to come out of it, and I'm like, oh, this is really interesting. Like, it's not that it's bad, but it's just that it's not really what I choose, and it's um, not really serving my greater purpose or my greater well-being. It's not really helping my body. If I'm sitting down for long periods of time, I would get I had a little trampoline, and so I'd have a little trampoline. So if I was watching TV, it made me feel a little bit better. But then I realized that like it almost like drained my energy. And I love watching things. I'm very selective about what I watch, but I do love watching, um, you know, certain shows, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's just about being balanced, and realizing when we come out of that balance, why, what's happening, what are we trying to move away from, what is it that we're not wanting to deal with, and 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 what are we consuming, what are we eating, not just physically but also mentally, um, energetically, and and how does it affect us? How do you feel after watching something violent or watching something fearful? How do you feel for the rest of the day? How do you feel when if you gossip, certain things that you do, and it's not even anything about low or high vibration. You know what I mean? I don't. It's not anything to do with that, but it's like, how does that make you feel? So just something that was on something that I was thinking about, that I wanted to share. And again, not condemning doing any of those things, but um, just encouraging you all to realize that all the little things that we do make a difference. They do add up to making bigger changes, and that as we go through our awakening process, we start to become more sensitive to what's around us, and what we allow into our environment, and how it makes us feel. And certain things lift you up, and other things don't. I try to listen to things that lift me up, that encourage me, and things that don't do that. I tend to steer away from. So I encourage everyone to follow their heart, and trust your instinct when consuming anything. Listen. Your body will always tell you. Your experience will inform you. So have a beautiful night. Be blessed. I love you.